000. I feel the need to give an explanation and an introduction to this series because this one will be a lot more unhinged and just more unfiltered and my own thoughts. I try to keep my rage and my anger in check, but oftentimes, especially when I get on social media, I'm confronted with the apathy and the evil that exists within this world, and it goes against the very nature of my being. See, I'm truly baffled on why it's so hard for some people to just be normal. It seems like becoming the most hateful and despicable thing that you can be has become a personality trait and almost like an identity online. You can see some of the most wholesome, heartfelt content, and there will always be people trying to incite hatred, negativity, and just overall toxic poison. And I don't understand. See, part of me believes that there are technologies that exist that are sending out signals to humanity that cause this kind of discord. And I know that may sound conspiratorial and things like that, but there's just this feedback loop of humanity and large parts of humanity seeing the worst aspect in itself, and it almost becomes a self-sustaining prophecy, or a self-licking ice cream cone, as I like to call it. Like, truly, a lot of our problems can honestly be solved with love. Yet, we choose to be selfish, especially when we get inside of group settings. It just becomes this mindset that is so detrimental to humanity and long-term progress. Yet, we're so caught up in the emotions of the moment. And I've done a lot of work on myself. I take psychedelics to really expand my mind and consciousness and understand where my own programming exists and my own bigotry, and let these things go and understand my own prejudices and work to release those. But there are a large amount of people that I run into that have no care in the world for these things. See, I don't care about your politics and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, until we start talking about money and lobbyists, we're not really having a conversation about change. I don't really believe in getting caught up in distractions for a popularity contest with a temporary employee. Now, yes, I do recognize that one candidate embodies a certain vibration that I will always disagree with, and I feel like another candidate represents a group that no matter what they say, I still can't trust them. You figure out who I'm talking about on your own. But I just reject this whole idea and this narrative that we need to keep the power in their hands, and that I'm just so disenfranchised with the way the whole thing functions. I'm truly baffled on why institutions who are run by people have a hard time allowing love to influence their policies. Like, if you've been watching the response of government agencies to parts of the country being hit with natural disaster, the only logical conclusion is that, like, parts of humanity have been infiltrated and corrupted by demons. Because where's the basic empathy, compassion, and love? I mean, I saw a story of a 20-year-old who escaped the flood zone and the danger zone in Florida, tried to get a hotel, but the hotel wouldn't let him check in because he's 20. I don't understand that. I get your policy, but what are we talking about? And that's a small example. That's a small example. And I just don't want to focus and talk like humanity is negative. There are beautiful things in humanity. There are things happening in art, things happening in romance. You can choose to change your algorithm to show you the beautiful side of humanity. But I'm also concerned with those of us who are sick. There are humans that are struggling with severe depression, crippling anxiety, autoimmune disease. I mean, go to the market, the food that you eat, nearly all of it's poison. So I must do my part to figure out what we can do in humanity and where I can make daily change in people's lives to start turning the tide on things. I mean, 10 years ago, when I was graduating high school, they made climate change sound like a hoax. But if you paid attention, you understood that the Earth is facing some very serious problems. And now we're starting to see back-to-back storms. Storms getting increasingly worse. The infrastructure is not being maintained. We have whole communities in the Appalachia wiped off the map. We still haven't even repaired communities that was damaged by Hurricane Katrina. The difference maker is humans. We need more regular people to get involved. And it's frustrating to me because we need people to be involved in politics, but the current way that people are involved in politics is doing a lot more harm than good. Discourse has nearly it's broken down. When we have politicians debate, they come on syndicated networks and it's very showmanship-like. When two candidates could easily get into a room with a moderator and have an 8-hour debate, talking about all of the issues. And the only way these candidates would do things like that is if humans like you and I make them. So these Earth Rants will just be where I speak my mind about what I feel is going on. But I don't just want to call out and point the finger on things. I'm not one of those types that just want to sit around and comment and critique all day. If I'm going to attack something or express my disapproval of something, then I'm going to follow that up with something constructive and what I feel and what I would think would be an improvement. But we are in a bad way for humanity as a whole. Simply because we won't take an extra few seconds to pause when we are emotionally triggered and then choose the type of person that we want to be. See, if we don't have that crucial and necessary pause after being triggered, you're liable to make all types of decisions and do all types of actions based on lower vibrational emotions. How could you not? So, over these next coming days, the next 100 days, I will be giving my thoughts and my opinions on the state of the world. And I hope that you join me. Comment your opinions below, your hot takes, as long as the discourse is respectful. But I want to know, how are you feeling right now? What are some improvements that you think humans can make in their daily lives that will overall impact the earth? I think the first thing that every human should do is sit down, get a piece of paper, and write down, what fears am I holding on to? Why am I so angry all the time? And start the processing with there. But as I said, this is just an introduction to let you know what this series will be. This one won't be for everybody. Only those who think like me. Peace and love.